and I look back and I see a cloud of smoke, and I realized that, something was going on. And I looked over at my wife, and, I see that her lower leg was hit by something. Some shrapnel had hit her leg, and she was bleeding, and, there was some bone and such. She took herself into the store, and I followed with her. And of course, I'm freaking out. This is my wife. And so I started grabbing shirts. She said, grab something to make a tourniquet. So I grabbed shirts off the rack. I started wrapping her leg up. She said, I'm okay, let me look at you. So she inspected me to make sure that, I wasn't, hit or anything. And once I took care of her, I went to go back to check on everybody else that we were with. And when I did, I saw there was another lady who had collapsed because I think the backside of her right leg was hit, and I don't know if she quite knew. Maybe she was in shock, or I'm not sure, but she collapsed because I think she tried to stand on her leg, and she collapsed in the doorway. So, I was trying to help her now, and somebody else came up, another stranger. I mean, there were people all over, just going to the autopilot to just, trying to help out. And I was trying to help her, and another guy came up and was helping her as well. So, there wasn't really much we could do with her. She was kind of, I'm not sure if she was unconscious or what, but I was still concerned about my friend's mother. But I couldn't get to her, so I was tapping on the other side of the window in the store to try to get someone's attention and try to get to her to make sure, our friend's mother was okay. And I finally was able to get to her, but briefly before they carried her off. Once I got outside, I couldn't get back to my wife because the police, said if you're not injured, you need to get out of here, you need to go. So I got separated from my wife, and there was another young lady, and I think her boyfriend or husband, maybe fiance, was hurt as well, and she was, trying to get back to him. And, so her and I, we just tried to find a way to get to him. So we snuck around the backside, around where the church is at Copley, and we went to the backside of the tent. And as soon as I saw them pull my wife out to put her in an ambulance, I yelled, this is my wife, can I please go with her? And then, so I got in the ambulance with her, and, she was, cool as a cucumber, I'm okay. And, of course, in my mind, I'm trying to be calm for her, but I'm freaking out. And they get us to the hospital, and I know I was in shock, of course, just to realize what had happened and that it could have been so much worse. For us, my hearing was really bad. They said they, were trying to get a hold of me, try to talk to me, and I couldn't hear too much. It's just a lot of muffled, ringing sound. So, nothing major though. Again, I was very fortunate. There are people who have lost their lives or have lost limbs. So I'm very fortunate, and I wish everybody else the best. But as far as I know, we were maybe 10 feet away from the explosion. So, I didn't realize how close we were until we started seeing it on the news and where the explosion went off and where we were at. Just made me realize how close we were to it and how fortunate we are that, we didn't lose, that anybody in my group at least.
Nicholas, can you share with us your injuries and your wife's injuries that you guys are suffering?
Mine was, I think I had a pierced drum, but nothing major. My eardrums are intact, so no major issues on my end. My wife had shrapnel that went through her lower left leg, and I think it shattered her fibula. And they had to, do some work with her, and she's got to go in for surgery again tomorrow. My friend's mother, I think she got hit in the knee, so I'm not sure exactly what they're doing for her, but she's also trying to recover from this as well.
Nicholas,
Nicholas,
have
how
you seen
old
the
are you,
pictures?
and
When
where
you
are
see
you
the
from?
pictures on TV, and if you've seen any of them, what are your thoughts when you look and that you were right there?
As funny as it sounds, when my wife and I were watching the news, it was kind of like, oh my God, what happened? You know, we didn't. It still doesn't even, you know, realize that, you know, we were there, we were a part of that. It really is. You know, when you see it on TV, it's really just like, oh my God, you know, it's. I can't believe this is happening, and I, you know, hope everybody's all right. But I think once the mind calms down, I think we'll start to remember the stuff we don't really care to remember. So.
How old are you, and where are you from?
32 years old. My wife is 31. We moved here in September of last year from Orlando, Florida.
What's
So,
your wife's name?
Lee and Yanni.
What do you remember from the
Can you spell
imagery?
that?
Could you spell her name?
Yes, Lee, space capital ANN.
And is she still here at the hospital?
Yes,
And
yes. Tufts have was able to put my wife and I together in the same room. So, you know, that meant the world to me. They've been awesome here. Everybody's been friendly and gone beyond.
Nicholas, what do you remember seeing as you were trying to find your wife?
A lot of stuff I could care less to recall. Yeah.
There are a lot of questions about what was contained in the bombs. Did you see carpenter's nails or anything like that?
I honestly, I couldn't even tell you. All I know is the glass shattered near us. Some of the railing was blown apart. So I don't know what I don't know what the general was hit by. I don't know if it was from the railing, or if it was from debris, or if it was from
Has anyone
anything.
explained what the shrapnel in your wife's leg was?
I don't think they know, because I think it went right through. So whatever it again, you know, everybody, just goes into autopilot, and you know, your adrenaline runs, and you just do what you got to do, and you really aren't thinking. You know, at least I wasn't. I was just trying to assess the situation, make sure everybody was okay as far as I could.
Nicholas, now that you've had time to process, a little time to process,
Yeah.
help us understand, what are your thoughts about the whole thing here?
It's sad that people have to take such a such a good event like this just because I don't know what their agendas are. I don't know. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own frame of mind, and some people believe in their thoughts more than other people, and they'll do things because they think it's the right way, and I don't think we'll ever understand that. So who knows? I think it's sad, but we live in a world of people, and everybody's got a mind of their own. So,
Nicholas, just before and after, you saw all this horrible stuff, but was there anything that gave you a sense of who might have been behind this? Did anybody behave in a strange way?
I honestly wouldn't have a clue. We were so focused on the event, I couldn't tell you.
Nicholas,
I wouldn't have
when that bomb went off, was there a flash of light? Were you guys thrown to the ground? Where did you wake up on the ground, kind of? What happened?
Well, I think when the explosion went off, yes, you definitely see flame. You definitely see a cloud of smoke. But I think I sat down. I think it was one of those like self-defense things. You just kind of like, what's going on? I don't think I fell.
What about your wife?
I don't even think she hit the ground, because I think as soon as she realized what was wrong with her leg, she hopped into the store, to get away from everything, and to be in a safer place, and to get something to wrap her leg in. So
Were you both pretty calm? It was a heart pounder.
I was freaking out inside. Yeah, my wife was cool as a cucumber, so she's used to that stuff, I guess. She's a physical therapist, and she's dealt with sport injuries, so she's maybe a little more used to it than I am. I'm not used to that stuff, so you know, I was trying to play Mr. Cool, but, you know, of course, I'm like, you know, I mean, my wife is hurt, and, you know, anything small would have seemed, you know, traumatic to me, because it's you know, it's your loved one, it's my wife, so.
Can you talk about the people around you, how they came together to help? Did people help you? Did you help people? What was it like down there when you were going into marathon sports and trying to rip shirts off to make tournaments?
Yeah, it was, you know, of course, a majority of people fled, you know, and I don't blame them, but there were a good handful of people who just, random people who were just coming in asking if anybody needed help. So, I mean, who, you know, yeah, you just, again, you always have those people who just go into autopilot and they just start doing whatever they can, not thinking of whether another bomb's going to go off or, you know, anything like that. They're just trying to help out. So, you know, there wasn't a lot of people, but there was a good handful of people that were there immediately. And then once the cops started to assess what was going on, then of course everybody fled in, and it was, you know, the whole situation was, full of cops and I think some people in military attire and such. I don't remember everything, but.
Do you remember how you got here?
Yes. When I snuck to the backside of the medical tent, and then I saw my wife putting her in the ambulance, I asked if I could ride with her. You know, that was my wife, and of course they're like, you know, come on in. And
when you had the first moment to talk with your wife about how lucky you were, what was that like? Describe that for us and what you said and did.
I was just happy to see her, and you know, they let me know every second what was going on with my wife. You know, that she was in the emergency room, or you know, in OR, and then when she was out, and that she's in recovery, and what was going on. They kept me up to date on everything that was going on with her. But you know, of course, you know, you still want to see them. So that was the longest, that time frame to wait for her to come out, for me to be able to see her. And then when they brought us up to the room, we were there at the same time. So, you know, it was like you know, like home, like safe. You feel safe, you know, because you know the people you love are there with you, and you know they're okay. And again, like I said, I've heard, you know, I think 3 people, you know, lost their lives, especially the 8-year-old boy, and you know, so like I said, I feel for them, and I know their situation is 10 times worse than ours, and we were fortunate, and my heart goes out to them. You know.
How has this changed your sense of security going forward?
You know, everybody says, you know, when people do this, we can't let them affect us. We can't let it, you know, scare us from doing anything like that. You know, when, you know, post 9/11, I was like, everybody's right. You know, not just around the surroundings, or you're near where the bomb went off, but when you're actually right there where the bomb did go off, and you're seeing stuff you just don't really care to see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say, yeah, I'll go back and get on go to a crowded event, or go to a place that's being, you know, publicized, you know, well, and you know, all that. You definitely, I'm not saying that I wouldn't go back, but you definitely you're always gonna have that fear that, you know, something could go wrong, you know. You know, but you know, what can you do? I don't, you know.
What's your message to whoever did this?
You know, for me, it's really hard to say, because I don't know who it is. I don't have a face to go with who caused all this. I don't have a direct person to be mad with. So it's hard for me to be mad at something that doesn't, you know, that's not tangible, that I can't see, and you know, so it makes it difficult. But the fact that somebody did this, or some people did this, or whatever the case may be, you know, it's, yeah, you're mad, because why? You know, why do people do this? You know, whether it be for religion or politics or whatever the case may be. I mean, it's not worth it.
Could we get an update on the number of injured people who are still here at the hospital?
Nicholas, what town are you from? What town are you guys living right now?
We live right on the line of. We're in Boston, but we're right next to Brookline, so we're right on the border.
And what profession are you in? Your wife's in PT?
Yeah, my wife's a physical therapist at Joint Ventures, and I'm a full-time student. Well, going to become a full-time student. I finally qualified for my in-state tuition, so I was supposed to go today to register.
Where?
I was gonna go to Bunker Hill to finish up my my math classes and stuff, and then hopefully UMass Boston. So and then hopefully my doctor.
What's the status of your wife?
As far as she's doing good, she's doing really well. The doctors are taking care of her. They're on her every 5 minutes. Somebody's coming in to check on her. She's doing really, really well. So I'm very fortunate.
How long do you think this will stay with you folks?
It's hard to say. I really don't know.
Could we get an update from the doctors here on what's happening?
Real quickly, did you see Terry
Yes.
Moran's interview last night with Rebecca? Did
Nicholas,
you see,
thank you.
Nicholas, did you see Terry talk to Rebecca and how guilty she felt?
Oh yes, we did. I did see. My wife and I did see that, and she's not the one that had anything to do with
She
this.
told
so.
Terry she felt horrible.
Yeah, but you always. I think that's just second nature. I think you just want to, people immediately take, blame for something, but you can't. You can't. I mean, life is
So
one
you all
big.
have spoken and made peace.
Oh yeah. I mean, her mom was involved in it too. She was sitting right next to me and my wife. So, I mean, there's no hard feelings whatsoever.